Hello chess lovers, I am Aman Agarwal and welcome back to Master Chess. A clash between two world champions is always awaited. Whether it be Magnus Carlsen vs Viswanathan Anand or Magnus Carlsen vs Garry Kasparov or even World Championship challenger Aya Nepo vs Magnus Carlsen. But we all know that the Chess Super League is underway and it is a great boost for chess. But yesterday there was a match played between two former world champions, Hou Yifan from China and Maria Muzychuk from Ukraine. Well, it was the first match of the Chess Super League between the Crazy Knights and the Quintessential Queens. So Maria Muzychuk was playing with the white pieces and she was playing for the Crazy Knights. We have pawn e4 and Hou Yifan placed the Sicilian defense with pawn to c5. The knight moved to c3 and this is known as the closed Sicilian. We have pawn to a6 and then Maria Muzychuk plays the move pawn to g3. Well, the aim of this move is to try to flank it with the bishop down this diagonal. We have pawn to b5. And black tries to gain a queenside majority. The bishop moves to g2 as planned, trying to flank it to the bishop. We have bishop to b7 and black also fianchettos down the same diagonal. Knight g to e2 preparing to castle and we have knight to f6. White castles and we have pawn to d6. Well, Maria Muzychuk plays the move pawn to d4. Black takes it and the knight recaptures back. Until here, everything was fine and Hou Yifan, and generally the black players want to play the move like pawn to e6 here, but Hou Yifan tried something new and played the move pawn to e5. Well, the objective of this move is to kick away the knight. Knight simply moved to f5 and this move did not turn out to be very well because pawn to e5 simply gives the knight a beautiful outpost on the f5 square. But the idea of knight to f5 is that once black plays pawn to g6, the knight can move back to e3. But now, sorry for that. We were in... Okay, so after knight to f5, black played the move pawn to b4, attacking this knight. Well, the knight simply moved to d5 and you can see the stronghold of white on the center. We have knight captures on d5 and the white pawn recaptures. Now if you see, the black bishop is damp as hell and therefore this gives white a significant advantage in the position. We have pawn to g6 kicking away the knight and as planned the knight simply moves back to the e3 square. The knight moves to d7 and we have pawn to a3. Well, remember, a3 move is a very strong move because once the pawn captures or even if it doesn't capture, the rook simply comes to the a3 square and can simply crush black on the queen side with a move like rook to b3. Anyways, we have pawn to a5 and white takes the pawn. Black takes it and we have bishop to d2 attacking the pawn. Well, Hou Yifan, with her positional understanding, thought that this pawn, it was not a very wise idea to save this pawn, but it was not a very wise idea to give away the pawn like this as well. Therefore, she first played the move bishop to a6 and attacked the rook. The rook moved and now she played pawn to b3 saying, okay, come on Maria, I know you're gonna take my pawn, but I won't give you the pawn on b4 activating your bishop, but I would give you the pawn on b3 which would indicate double pawns for you. Hou Yifan, finding no danger, took the pawn because remember, an extra pawn is always an extra pawn, whether it be doubled or undoubled. Anyways, we have bishop to e7 and finally after a bunch of moves, black decides to castle. After a bunch of moves, black decides to castle. And we have knight to c4, planning to come to a5, not to b3, planning to come to a5 and then you see this beautiful outpost on the c3 square. Anyways, we have short castles and now white plays knight to a5 as planned, and remember, the rook and the bishop defend this knight, so there is no danger of it being captured in any way. We have knight to c5 completely ignoring the threat, and according to the computer and everybody, this was not a very great move by Hou Yifan because it simply gives white the square on c6 and Maria Muzychuk doesn't fail to capture that and she within seconds played the move knight to c6. To be precise, she didn't take more than 20 seconds to play this move. We have queen to d7 because black also wanted to black also wanted to defend the bishop because that was also being attacked. Well, there is no hurry of taking the bishop, therefore you can play the move bishop to c3. And now if you see, just imagine the power of this bishop. And now with this, an amazing combination, not really combination, but an amazing tactic was found by Hou Yifan later in the game, by Maria Mazzuchelli later in the game. We have bishop to b5, attacking this knight. You see, the power of this knight is such huge that even a world champion thinks that this knight needs to be eliminated even at the cost of giving up a bishop pair. Anyways, we have rook a8, the rooks are off the board, and white plays the move pawn to b4, attacking this knight. We have knight to a4, attacking the bishop, and we have bishop captures on e5, an amazing move played by Maria Mazzuchelli. I would like you to pause the video and find out that why is this move a tactical genius. Well, once we are back with the solution, let me tell you that this move is extremely great because it has an amazing tactical combination behind it. Well, if black plays the move pawn captures on e5, which was played in the game, we have the amazing knight captures on e7, black queen takes, and now Maria played the move d6. Well, you see this queen is being attacked, pawn is being defended, and most importantly, the bishop x-rays the rook. The queen moved to d8, and we have rook captures on a8, simply chopping off a rook, and queen captures a8, and after this we have rook to e5. Well, it's told that you shouldn't exchange two pieces for a rook in the middle game. Well, in the middle game you shouldn't do it because the bishop or even two bishops or a knight and the bishop are very active and the rook can't be that active in the middle game. But it is also said that to break the rules, you must know the rules first. Well, something like this was seen here. Maria Mazzuchelli, knowing that the rook would be a stronger piece in the end game because the rooks belong behind passed pawns, and if you see, the rook comes behind this passed pawn, and just to imagine a position where both the queens are off, then white would be completely winning. Well, something like that happened in the game, and we have bishop to d7. Okay, this was not a very great move because although black is planning some threats around here, but Maria Mazzuchelli is not a kid to oversee that. Okay, we have queen to d4, and she plays the move bishop to h3. Well, her opponent is not a 1000 rated BM, blunder master, and therefore she simply plays queen to e4. Well, this is a very great move because this not only stops the checkmate but also almost forces the trade of queens. We have queen e4, rook e4, and bishop to d7. We have pawn to f4. Okay, one thing I like to say to you is that after bishop to in this position, when rook to e4 was played, if black tried to play a move like knight captures on b2, then I would like you to again pause the video and find out that why is this move a blunder. Well, once you are back, let me tell you that this move is a clear blunder because of the move pawn to g4. And now the bishop is blocked and there is no way you can stop this pawn from promoting. Therefore, bishop to d7 was played. And now we have pawn to f4. The king moves to f8, and surprisingly, if the rook comes to e7, there is no way the king can enter except playing the move pawn to f6, but then the bishop will be attacked. We have rook to e7 as thought, and the knight comes to b6 defending the bishop. King to f2, and again, white's king has active scope of developing itself from this diagonal, while the black king doesn't. We have bishop to e6 and rook to b7 attacking this knight. Knight moves to d7 and the pawn to b5, and you see the power of these two pawns. They both are just rolling down the board. This pawn is just 3 squares away from promoting, and the other one is just 2 squares away from promoting. As you could see, the pawn on d6 is just 2 squares away from promoting. Well, anyways, we have king to e8, and black tries to bring up the king from here. We have rook to a7, planning to play b6 and moves like such in the later stage of the game, and the knight moves to b6 trying to blockade the pawn. We have rook to a6 attacking the knight, and now b6 is impossible to stop. Knight moves to c4, and we have pawn to b3. The knight moves to d2, And maybe planning to play moves like this. But we have knight to e3. We have king to e3. Okay, knight f8, and playing like this, trying to win some lazy pawns out there isn't worth it because the pawn on b5 and d6 are just too strong. We have knight captures on b3, and white plays the move pawn to b6. Well, I think black has to give up the bishop to stop this pawn, and therefore she plays bishop to d5. The rook moves to a7, and you see how beautifully white is just moving up the rook and then the pawn, the rook and then the pawn. We had king to d8, and then the final move of the game, pawn to b7 was played, after which black simply resigned the game. That means that Hou Yifan simply lost the game because there's no way you could have stopped that pawn from promoting. Well, that's it for today. I hope you liked the game, and do comment below and tell me that which team are you rooting for in the Chess Super League. Not only that, Master Chess has also presented its second Master Chess Subscribers Arena, so don't forget to join that as well, and I'll leave the link in the description. And for those of you who don't know, I've already made a separate video on that telling you all the things about the tournament, so don't forget to check that out as well. Thank you for watching, and bye for now.